Well, hello, and welcome to ZBrush Live. And we are going to start our stream in a few minutes. But if you'd all please do me a huge favor, not everybody, but at least a few of you, and let me know if you can hear me okay and see my screen. That would be awesome. In the meantime, do all the internet things. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Liking this stream, even if you're watching it after the fact, really helps us out. So please do so. Definitely drop a like. If you like this stream, you can subscribe to ZBrush Live. There's a bunch of other streamers that we all do different things, but all the streams are fun, and it'll be a good way for you to keep up. And if you want to have questions, you can ask during the stream. And if you have questions, if you're watching this afterwards on the recording on YouTube, then you can leave your questions in the comments, and hopefully somebody at some point will get back to you about it. It's always better to be on live. So again, we're waiting for somebody from Twitch and also from YouTube to let us know that you can hear me and see my screen okay. And once we get that go ahead, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so still waiting for somebody in the chat. There's quite a few of you on there, over 100 it seems like. So please let me know if you are seeing my screen and if you can hear my voice. And once I get that okay, I'll go ahead and get started. In the meantime, I'll wait a few more minutes here. I do have some unfortunate news, but not too bad, to talk about, and I'll actually kind of give you an idea of what I usually do when something like that happens. So still waiting for somebody in the chat to type in the chat that you can hear me and you can see me. Okay. All right. Well, this does not look good. Hopefully you are able to see me and hear my voice. Otherwise, it seems like everything's working on my end. I just want to make sure it's working on yours as well. All right. So I'll just give it a few more minutes here. Apologize for the wait. Oh, here we go. Alan, thank you and welcome. So that's one service down. That's YouTube. And if we can get somebody on Twitch also, that would be great. I think maybe there's a little bit of a delay. So when I ask you to do it, by the time it gets to you, I can... okay, so we got another person from YouTube. Thank you. Modfather. And then I guess we'll give Twitch a few more minutes here. A lot of people watch Twitch on non-computing devices, so maybe they're reaching for their keyboards, or maybe they're watching it on a pad or something. They need to get to a keyboard or a chat screen. But yeah, if you could leave it in the chat, that'd be great. And also, if you have questions, you can ask me in the chat as well, and I will answer them during the stream. All right, looks like all the over 150 people watching are on YouTube. All right, come on, somebody on Twitch, get to that keyboard. All right, well, I'm gonna give it just a couple more minutes here. Seems like YouTube is the service of choice for people watching, which is odd. It used to be Twitch. But I don't know. I have no way of knowing who's connecting from where, unfortunately. I just can see a number here. And, oh, here we go. Twitch, yes, live. Elv, thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, a couple of things happened. One, there was a new version of ZBrush, right? So let me kind of hide the image bar here. So you can see in the top left of my corner over here, I'm on ZBrush 2024.0.4. Minor upgrade. Digital Squirrel, thank you very much for letting me know on Twitch as well. So yeah, so 2024.0.4 is a minor upgrade, and it just has some bug fixes, nothing really major on there. And so once I did that, the ZTexturator that I had did not work anymore. So I contacted the vendor. They sent me a new build. I installed it and it was great. However, when I loaded my model, for some reason, all the work kind of went away because I didn't save the textures out. So all the work we did using ZTexturator last time is kind of lost. However, I'm not really that bothered by it because luckily we didn't do the whole model and I didn't really have time to work on it during the week. But it's a good thing to know that if you do create materials with the ZTexturator, you need to back them up. So I'm going to be talking to the developer soon and getting an idea of how all those things work. So hopefully in my next stream, I'll be talking more about that. So having suffered that kind of setback, and you know, if you work in CG, you know that this kind of thing happens all the time. So the good news is you try to make you know, lemonade with lemons, and what I'm going to do here is what I should have done before I even started texturing, is that basically indicate the materials with a color. So I have the same material on this whole model, which is kind of a variant, a minor variant that I made of the basic material. And what I'm doing here is I'm just going in and selecting all the different pieces and giving them a color. Sometimes it's going to be the color it's going to end up as, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just indicating to me what kind of material it is that I'm using. So yeah, so with that little bit of a setback, we're just going to go ahead and basically use ZColor here, which is a ZBrush plugin that comes with ZBrush, or you can download it if you don't have it, but definitely get it because it's super useful. One of the things that I do in here is I load up a bunch of ASC files, and you can see them all over here. These are colors that I kind of find interesting, and if you go to Adobe Color, you can just go to different swatches and download ASC files. And I should actually, why not show you guys that? So let me bring up a browser here and go to Adobe Color, and you can just go to Explore here. Let me bring that up and let me move ZColor out of the way for a minute. So basically you can just kind of look at all these color schemes, right? And you might find things that are important. You can put in different names here, like you can just say, okay, show me colors that are summer, and then you get these color swatches, and I don't know if these are ones that I want to use. Things that use primary colors, for example, the strong kind of super saturated colors, or if you want like you know, some vaporwave, you know, if you're working on something that's vaporwave, you can choose those kinds of colors, or you know, whatever luxury. You know, I guess luxury has its own color scheme. Like maybe you think this is kind of cool, or I don't know. So basically, you just kind of can go through here to tropical colors, for example, synthwave. These are all popular searches. So synthwave and vaporwave have become very popular. I wonder if it does other music too. Like, let's look at like what gothic colors are. Like, all right. Oh, okay, good. So I'm getting some interesting ones here. Here's one, you know, that I kind of would like to add to my library. So what you do is you just download this ASC file, right? And you just download it and put it in your folder wherever you want to keep it. And then, you know, there's a bunch of different ones here. All right, let's look at disco colors. Why not? Since they're using music as a term here. Okay, so these are disco colors. I don't know, these don't look very disco to me. It seems like it's more like disco balls or whatever, but like, you know, I mean, here we go. This is maybe disco-y color. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Let me do one more. Let's do new wave. Since music seems to be kind of the thing. Right, hair bands. I don't know. I mean, I guess it picks way for, you know, the newer kind of things better than these ones. Or we can do, let's do typography. See if that's a term that's interesting. Yeah, you know, get some interesting grays here or whatever. So basically all you're getting are these colors that you see over here. And then once you download those, so once you basically click on this, for example, you like this one, you download the ASE, then you basically just go into ZColor and you go to File, and if you say New, it will replace whatever's here. So you don't want to do that. And if you say Open, it will also replace whatever is there. What you want to do is just click Append, and then after you hit Append, it will add the colors. And you can see here that I've got a few that I've kind of collected over time, and I continue to collect them. But I've got the ASCs for all of these, and I can load them in when I need to. All right, so now that that's out of the way, so here is kind of, I did a little bit of work today because I actually wanted to take a look and see if I could rescue what we did last week. But it seems like it's not going to be possible just because I did not do two things. One is I should have generated textures from the poly paint, and two, I should have saved the materials before I overrode it with the new version of the ZTexturator. So too hot for tea today, so I'll just be drinking some water. So yeah, so we're gonna have to start, and then I basically just kind of started doing this work. So here I'm just kind of picking the different items here and just doing a fill object with just RGB on. So this one, did it selected here, and fill color, fill object. Okay, there it is. I inadvertently filled something else before. I wonder what it is. Doesn't matter. Right, so I'm basically looking for kind of good color contrast and a way to kind of make certain things pop. Over here, so I'm going to choose maybe this thing over here and fill it with that dark color as well. So yeah, I'm just kind of getting, you know, some idea of what these are going to be looking like, and maybe these ones too. Right, so I'm just basically just going around picking different parts and giving them a color. Now there are these ones here that are a metallic color. So for these ones I want to find something new to color them. So here I'll just look through the swatches that I have, find one that's interesting. Maybe, let's see, something darker or lighter. I think maybe something that's a different color. And again, these colors are not going to be the final colors. They're just kind of indicating to me that these are going to be, you know, different materials. Maybe if they are the same, they're probably going to be the same material. So it's going to be easier for me to use ZTexturator to do that. Okay, fill objects. And we'll go back into the ZTexturator today and do some work there. Let's see, what about this guy right here? Could be that as well. And maybe this one. I mean, it's not really, that green isn't really working with the other colors, but I don't think I'm going to let these remain orange as well. But I definitely kind of like the contrast of a lighter, I mean, I like the values of these. And it'd be cool if there was something in ZBrush that just went in and changed all the colors down to value. I mean, there is a way to recolor each object, but all of them together, I don't know if there is a way to do it. If anybody knows, let me know. All right, so the helmet has a lot of pieces, and that's going to be interesting to do. All right, so these hoses right here in the back could be the same as this over here. Let's see if that works. So basically all I'm doing is clicking Alt and clicking, no, that's not what I wanted. So let's grab that color. I want this one. Fill object. Okay, so this is similar to this, so that's not really going to work too well. Maybe I can make this one. So I can just, once I have a few objects colored a certain way, I can just pick that same, pick a color from this list. So I wonder if this would look better darker. Let's see. Nope. Oh, this one. Actually, that does look better. All right, so you can see kind of I'm going to have some consistency in the colors here. However, this is going to be kind of a hard, you know, backpack, and this is kind of going to be malleable because he's going to have to move his neck. So I don't know if I want it to be the same exact material as that, but let me find another color here that is a darker gray. Well, maybe let's see if this darker color here will work, because this is kind of a rubbery material. Okay, fill object, there we go. All right, and again, I want to remind everybody that you can ask questions, and I encourage it because it kind of keeps me more kind of not in my head and with all of you, and definitely would be more entertaining. All right, like this little piece over here, let me just find I think this is going to be a very unique thing, so I'm going to find a yellow color for it, or lighter green, maybe this lime green right here. Fill object. Oop. I think I did something back here. Yep, no, that's not going to happen there. Maybe this one right here, and fill object. Okay, so this is going to probably be a luminescent thing, so it's probably going to be even lighter than that. So I'll pick this one and fill object that, and then pick this one over here, and this is going to be kind of a darker metallic piece. So I'll just pick this color here and fill object that. Okay, good. All right, so the front looks like it's almost done. I've got a lot of doohickeys on the helmet still to deal with. All right, there's this thing on the back, and this can be exactly the same material that this is. Right, and the way I'm picking the material, by the way, is I'm just dragging from the color swatch out to the model, and that basically picks up the color. Same thing with material, but the material is all the same. All right, so let's go here to the back and figure out what we're going to do with this kind of dog bone looking thing. And I think that could be this lighter gray over here. So fill object, yep, that works good. And then what about these pieces on top? I think for this one, same thing. And then for these guys, it could be something else, maybe this color right here. And this one too. Right, and I want to pick that darker color and pick this thing and fill it with that. Okay, so this is kind of a, one of those mental exercise things where you basically, I kind of want to differentiate the value. I just get the values of the colors, and then sometimes I put in a color that is kind of loud, like this orange, but it doesn't really mean that that's how it's going to end up. Right, so I'm still going to drag it. This color here that's in here, and this part, and also the buckles and whatnot. This is going to be a metallic kind of thing, so I'm just going to make some of these things those colors. Fill object. Right. Let's see if there's any more of these kinds of things over here somewhere. I guess these could be metallic as well. So fill object, the outside could be metallic, and the inside maybe is this darker color. I forgot that this is two pieces. Here we go. Right, that kind of creates more visual interest, and that also moves to these pieces as well. That's all good. And let's say that we want that metallic again thing for these guys, which at some point I need to let's see, are these all one piece? They are. Okay, yeah, that's good. And then let's pick that black color again, and these rubber bandy things here, change the, oh nope, don't want to do that. Maybe yeah, pick this color and fill those with that. There we go. Similar to the one next to it, but I think it does okay. And then that's all one piece, so that's good. And then this is going to be metallic as well. And I think I might move these up just a little bit here, just to have that space between them and the other pieces. There we go. Maybe rotate it just a tad as well. Okay, so I'm having a problem here where when I'm moving this, the other side is moving, but the symmetry isn't the same, so I'm going to go all the way back, turn on local symmetry, turn off dynamic. Let's test that out. Nope, I do need dynamic on. Okay, and rotation. Nope, I don't need dynamic on. What the heck? Oh, I think, you know, whenever this kind of thing happens, make sure you have symmetry. Okay, so now this is exactly what I want it to do. It's doing the same thing on both sides. All right, just moving this into place. And what I want to do is I want to create a line between this corner, and this corner. So I'm just kind of adjusting it just a tad. And that kind of gives me a little bit of room over here. Another thing I could also do is pick this piece, go to move, turn on AccuCurve, and try to get this to kind of be parallel to it as well. It's because when these things are manufactured, you know, they usually take these kinds of things into account. From the corner, it doesn't matter. From this angle, it kind of looks good. Let's press this in a bit. Here we go. Yep. So that looks a lot better. Now, the challenge here is that these two are about the same size. So the expectation is that somehow they are connected, and I don't want them to be. So I might undo that distance that I bridged and bring this down a bit more like that. Okay. This is kind of late stage stuff, but again, having a different color for these objects will definitely give me an idea of what's going on. So this piece is kind of a light, so it's metal as well. So let's fill that object. Oops. Here we go. All right, and then this piece over here is maybe kind of a rubberized piece. Let's see how that looks with that blackish color. Nope. Select it. Fill object. Here we go. I think that looks okay. And of course, these would be different materials. I mean, if I really wanted to get into the nitty-gritty, I probably would have chosen to change the specularity of them too, but I think it's going to be fine. All right, I'm going to do that with this, and then I'm going to pick this color, pick this piece, and fill object that color. All right, Sean, thank you very much, and thank you for coming back. Okay, so yeah, I think this is kind of looking okay. I got to figure out something for this guy in the middle here. Let's pick this color and let's make him that color as well. Okay. I don't know why I said him. There's no gender in objects unless it's French or Latin. Okay, so this thing right here is all going to be the same, but it's going to be something a little bit different. So here I'm going to go find, well, let's see, what can we do? Maybe this lime green color, and it's going to start looking ugly here for a minute, but it's easy enough to change, and I'll show you how I do that as well. So a fill object for that, and same deal with this guy right here, because they're all part of the same part, which is connected to those LEDs. So I mean, I basically did a thing where when I have different materials on different things where they're different, I created a view, the V1, and the V2 is what I'm working on now, which excludes those pieces. All right, so what about this guy right here? This could be kind of a rubbery thing too, so let's pick that darker color, fill object. And again, all I'm looking is for contrast and some sort of you know, way for the different parts to stand out. If I make things the same color, you know, I'm just going by the sculpture, and I also want to include color in what I'm working on. Now, I probably will have the gloves be the same color as the suit, so let's do that. Pick the gloves, fill object. I think that looks okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right. We're Wish there was a way to find out what colors, you know, are still that kind of grayish color. But I think, you know, eventually I have a way of doing that, and we'll do it in a minute. All right. Just for kicks, I'm going to kind of do the same thing with the shoes here. I'm just going to make them that gray color. And then for the soles, I'll pick this darker color. Fill object and fill object. I still really haven't finished the shoes up. Maybe I'll work on that a little bit today, depending on how things go with ZTexturator, if it works okay or not. But I'm definitely not going to really commit to anything that I do there. I'll save a copy of this and not commit to anything I'm doing there until I actually talk to their folks and figure out a few things. Okay, because I want to make sure that whatever work I do doesn't get lost. So this piece right here, I think this is going to be maybe a hard metallic piece. So let's pick it, fill object, something like that. All right, let's see what that looks like. It looks okay. All right, so let's get in on these pieces on the inside. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to open up this folder and just start going through the different pieces. So to make my life easier, I'm going to turn on transparency so I can see things easier. So now we've got this piece. I'm going to turn ghost off for now. Oh, no, I do need it on. Right, so that was that piece. I'm just using my keyboard here to go down to the next piece, which is where... Oh, it's these pieces. Okay, that's good. Now the face, we did such a good job coloring it last time, but I'm not worried. I could probably, I mean, it was pretty fast, so I can probably do it again. All right, that has a color. And since I'm working on the helmet here, I'm going to kind of zoom in on it so I can see the different colors. So here I'm just using my arrow keys again to go up and down. So that's the main helmet. That's that piece we just colored. Okay, so that has its own material. And you can see the eyes out on these because they have a Redshift material that I assigned to them. So those I would probably create a Redshift version of this and render it in Redshift, but eventually I want to render this in Keyshot as well. Right, so these are all pieces that actually have a material. The teeth have the material and color already done. That piece is colored, that's done. Okay, that's got its own material, that's colored, that's colored as well. Good, and what are we looking at here? Okay, we're looking at this piece in the back. I guess I should rotate it around for now. And then that is what? Okay, that's the chin strap. And that's the piece we just did. Okay, so this is on the inside. So I need to turn the visor off to see this piece. And to do that, where are you, visor? And oh, neighbor's kids losing their, oh wow, full on. All right, I guess I can just pick it this way. It should be easier, and then turned off so we can see inside. All right, here we go. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the microphone. All right, so it's this piece right here, and I got to figure out what that is. I'm gonna turn transparency off. And yeah, there's some pieces inside the helmet that I need to figure out what to color. And I don't know, maybe let's try this darker color of the helmet. Let's see if that works. That's kind of cool. And then for these guys right here, let's pick this color. Nope. But I just kind of noticed something that would be cool, and I might do it in a minute. But let me pick this piece right here. Fill object. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. He looks pretty weird without teeth. But they're there. And here we go. If you guys want to see them, that's kind of what it's going to look like. And I think that kind of looks good. All right. Going back here. All right. So we picked those two things. And now let's see. Go back up here to when we first encountered this guy, which is where we were. Move down one. Go back to transparency again so we see what we're talking about. And that's those pieces back there. Yep, those have a color. All right, so now we're getting into the inside part. So we can barely see this part. Turn transparency off. I can barely see it, like maybe just over there. I'm going to solo it out. And let's pick a color for it. So I kind of want to contrast that. So I'm going to pick this color here and fill object. There it is. Okay. So what time is it? 7:30. They're probably trying to get him to sleep, and he doesn't want to go to sleep. Poor kid. All right. All right. Next one. Transparent. What piece are we looking at here? Oh, we're looking at those pieces. They have a color. This one right here. All right. What should we color this one? So I think the darker black color would be nice. Let's try that. Fill object. Yep. That's good. And that kind of creates a nice little fork in here. So that's perfect. Move down one. Okay. Go back to transparency so we can see what piece we're looking at. And I can't find. Okay. Those ones have a color. So we're good on those. What are we looking at here? Okay, those guys have colors as well. Colored that. Okay, so I think I did color that as well, and that. Back to the hose in the back. That one has a color. Those have a color. The top part of the hat, and I don't know why that's here. I should move this all the way to where that helmet is. I'm going to regret doing that, I think, because I got to find where I was, but it shouldn't be a big deal. There aren't that many pieces. I mean, it seems like there are, but there really aren't. Where are you, main helmet? Should be near the top. Right. How about there? Okay, so now I got to find where I was, which I think was about here. Let me add some more columns here to this. Let's go to 8. Or more count, visible count, not color. I think we were here and then went to that. Yep. And what's this one? Yeah. Yes. The big tube in the back. Yep. That one. I do see there are some questions. I'll answer them in just a second. Let me just at least finish the helmet. That's done. That's done. That's done. Where are we here? Yep. That's an interesting one. That's inside. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring transparency off. It's this piece right here, and I didn't even realize that was there. I think that's going to be the darker color of the helmet. This one, fill object. Yep, so that kind of creates an interesting look. Okay, good. Next one, go to transparency, see what piece we're talking about here. Those are the top lights, those things, and it's this one. Yep, we gave it a color already. That has a color. Those have colors. Those have colors. That has a color. Yep, all good. Oh, this one does not. So let's give this one a color. I'm going to turn transparency off. Now this is going to have 2 LEDs on the end, but the color for it, I wonder what it should be. I think I'm going to pick this green. That way it kind of does show up, but it's still there. Okay, let's move down one. Okay, that's good. Those are clear. That's colored. Here we go. This one doesn't have a color, and it's pretty visible. So what could we do to make this stand out? How about, I'm going to try this orange just for kicks for now. No. I don't want to do this color right here. Fill object. Okay, that's done. Move down one. What's that? Okay, that's that next piece. And I'm going to try and pick this darker color for it. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it's on the inside. I can barely see it, but it does kind of create some interesting highlights there. All right, let's move on to these tubes. Look like this. And I'm going to color those tubes. I'm going to try to go for this color. Let's see what that looks like. I think that's okay. And then there's the inside part of the neck, which basically is the inside. I don't even know if I can see that. I'm going to give a really orange color to that to see if I can even see it. I can see a little bit of it, and I don't think a bright color is good for that, so I'm going to go for the darker black color here, fill object. Okay, so it's kind of on the inside, and I think I like how that's looking, so that's good. Move down one. Transparency on. What are we looking at here? Solo. Okay, so we colored that already. Move on to the next piece. Okay, I think that's the piece that is under the chin. That's good. We colored those already. Right, so now we're on the suit. So we're basically done with the helmet. That's good. And we did a lot of work here, so I'm going to drop a quick save just to make sure that that's saved and read some of your questions. Hello, Bread ESU. Hello, for someone who wants to learn hard surfacing, are there any channels that you would recommend that covers the basics and fundamentals, or perhaps advice you want to share? So are you wanting to do hard surface with ZBrush, or are you wanting to do hard surface with any other app? Because hard surface, there's a lot of tools that people can use for hard surface. Most people use CAD software, including me, for some things. Some people use kind of a modeling software like Maya or Blender for it as well. But if you want to, so let me know which one of those seems more interesting to you. If it's ZBrush, I can tell you how to go. If it's Blender or Maya or a CAD program, then that's a whole other thing. Okay, so ZBrush. Okay, so what I would recommend for ZBrush is there isn't a hard surface kind of tutorial per se. There are some, nothing that jumps out at me. I should make one, and I've kind of made one actually. I don't know why I'm saying I should make one. I already have, but it's not like, you know, here's ZBrush and it's hard surface. It's actually going through a project, and I'll bring that up here. Go back to the browser window here. Let's get ZColor out of the way for a second. And if you go to the Gnomon Workshop, right, 15% off, that's nice. Okay, so if you go to the Gnomon Workshop, so the gnomonworkshop.com, here, I'll put the link in the chat notes so you guys can just jump right to it and you don't have to search for it. Okay, so this is basically looking for my name specifically, so you can look up by instructor, and you can see here there's some amazing instructors. A lot of lessons here are really good. I mean, you could just do something like type hard surface, right, and hit enter, and that will give you a bunch of hard surface stuff. This is in Blender. This is an introduction to ZBrush. It'll help a little bit here, but you can kind of go through all of these different ones and find something that is interesting to you. I think most of them might not be ZBrush oriented, but they could be ZBrush as well. So I would recommend clicking on each one. Like for example, if this is kind of the type of thing you want to do, I think this is by Ben. So let's see what this is, what tools it's using, and then you can go here down below and tells you, okay, so this is using Modo, ZBrush, and Photoshop. Most of the hard surface stuff is probably done in Modo, and some of this stuff is done in ZBrush. You can kind of see some screenshots here. But the one, you know, the thing I wanted to say is that I've made a tutorial here as well, and this is designing a piloted combat mech. So basically, I start this in VR, and then move on to modeling in ZBrush. So you can see here, I mean, here's an example screen of like how I'm creating this hard surface kind of gun and what are the methods that I'm using. So you can subscribe to this Gnomon Workshop, and then you can watch all of their tutorials. And I don't know how much it is per month now, but I think they're offering a 20% off, which is always great. I don't know why I'm not logged in. I usually am, but I think this is something that would be really great for you to kind of learn how to, you know, go from, you know, organic to non-organic. I cover everything all the way through UVing it and texturing it in Substance Painter. And also, here's Substance Painter, adding a camo and paint and whatnot. And so I cover all that all the way from, you know, like doing the concept in VR all the way to getting a finished render. I'm not very happy with this specific render, but I was kind of in a rush to get it out because I had a deadline to meet. But you can see a different render of this in my on my Instagram. And by the way, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, please do. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of work in progress of what I've worked on here. There's a bunch of other things too. I did go to Japan in March. I have some pictures of real mechs, I guess, real life-size ones, which are awesome. But if you scroll down a little bit past my experimentations with AI, which I am no longer really using, and go down to, where are you? Well, I mean, this is one way of looking for it, but yeah, here's some other renders of it, but this is the render I should have done for the tutorial, but this is that same exact mech and rendered afterwards in a different render. And by the way, you guys could also go to my website, which is kermaco.com. Oh, I should just mention this. If you guys want to go to my stuff, if you go to my Instagram you should just subscribe to, because anytime you want to look me up, you can find all my stuff here. And whenever my websites or whatever changes, it's in the link tree here underneath. So if you click on Linktree here, you can go see my portfolio. This is the Gnomon Workshop titles I have. I also have a Gumroad where I sell a primitives kit for ZBrush, but I also have a free version of it. So you get 17 primitives for free. You can download that. You can also download my UI colors if you like that as well. And then I do have a paid-for version of the primitives, but that has some extra pieces that you might need. So that's $5 if you want to get it. That would help. And so anyway, the reason why I'm showing you all this is because you can go to my portfolio, and here's that mech, and you can see some that hero render that I did, and this is the render I did for them, and here are some renders of like the guy sitting inside the mech and like some more detailed views of it. Okay, so this is kind of a work in progress render, but this is kind of the render that I really like, and I intend to at some point go back and do some other renders. So yeah, you can definitely learn a lot from watching this one, but it's not like a basic start to doing hard surface, and that's something that I at some point want to do, but I have to find the time. I mean, right now I'm actually really late in finishing up another Gnomon title, an update to a Gnomon title, and I'm having a few issues that are causing me to like not get that done. But once that's done and out of the way, I think maybe I'll look into doing a kind of a hard surface tutorial, kind of a starting, a beginner's hard surface tutorial for ZBrush type of thing. So stay tuned for that. The best way to find out Brett ESU is definitely follow my Instagram, because that's where I do my announcements of things that are coming up and things that are new and all that. Okay, so back to the grind here. So it looks like we missed a few pieces here. Where's that? In the head, we missed a few pieces. I don't know how we jumped over them, but we did. We just missed one piece. That's not that big of a deal. And I see it over here, and so the question is, what color should that be? What's the... Now let's start with this one right here. Okay, so that kind of makes it not really stand out. How about if we do it the darker color? Okay, so that kind of is a little bit better, but also not better. Let's try, how about this color? Nope. And I'm going to, just for the heck of it, try this orange to see if it kind of helps. I think that kind of looks the best. And I probably will do a little bit of sculpting on this. I mean, it's just like very, they're just very simple pieces, and you can kind of still see the faceting on them. Do they have any subdivisions? Yeah, they do. All right. So I'll work on those sculpturally a little bit later. So I'll just kind of have to remember that as something I need to do. All right, so we're done with the helmet, the head part. Okay, so we're moving on to the suit. That's fine. We moved on to the gloves. We did those. We did the armbands. The screens, these are not visible in this view because, again, they have a emissive material not Keyshot, but in Redshift. Okay, so what piece are we looking at here? Shoulder pieces are done. That's done. What are we looking at here? Okay, those are done. That's done. A lot of this point on, I think, is done. I think we're almost completely done with this part, but let's just go through the pieces just for kicks. Okay, so these are two other suits that I have for him that I could use. So what's this piece? Do I even see this piece? I do. Oh, why is this not with the helmet? All right, so I need to put that up wherever this piece is. Where are you? Neck base. Oh, I guess it's just the neck base. All right, so it is, thought has been given to why it's there. All right, let's go back down to here and let's keep going down. Okay, that's that piece right there. Right, that's done, 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 done. Oh, no, what's this one? Yep, those are done. That's done, 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 done. Okay. Harness in the back. Done, done. Yep. Yes, 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 yes. I don't know about this one here. I kind of did apply material to it, but I'm kind of rethinking that maybe that should be the darker color because then it'll make it stand out more. Let's try and see what that looks like. Oh, not you. Yeah, I think that looks better. All right. Looks very kind of, forgetting the artist's name, and I shouldn't. All right, so these buckles actually have different pieces, and let me see here. I think there's one more. Let me just merge this down. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to take these out of here, and I'm going to let's see if this works. I'm going to split into similar parts. Okay, I might regret doing this, but maybe not. Okay, yeah, so it did do it. And so now what I could do is I can color these separate pieces different colors. Okay, so looks like, all right, so there's this one color, and that's the color that it is right. Then there's this inside piece. And for that, I'm just going to choose maybe, just for now, so I can identify where it is, I'm going to pick this yellow color. And let's move on to this next piece. Okay, so these two are the same pieces, I think. Right? I'm going to make this one, let's see here. So I've got this one and this one. Nope, they're not the same. All right, so this has its own thing, and what about these guys? Oh, okay, so these two are the same. All right, so this one and this one are the same. I'm just gonna enable both of them and merge them together. Pick the top one, merge down. Okay, all right, so now they're the same, fill object. And again, I'm just putting this yellow color just so I can identify where they are. There's that one, that's right. How about this one? Okay, so this could be the orange color as well. Why is it not getting the color? Fill object. Okay, here we go. All right, and then there's this other piece. Okay, so this piece is on the outside, and that could get this gray color. All right, that's good. And then there's the main piece on the outside, and I'm going to pick the green color here and make that color. So this actually makes these buckles a little bit more exciting to look at. Again, the colors that I picked are not going to be the final colors, but they just are giving me a little bit of a change of color so I can see what they are. And then we'll move on to the pouches. So what's this one? Okay, yep, that's kind of that belt. It's done already. This one's done. This one's done. 3 belts. And this is the belt that goes around on the inside. That's done. And then that's the cod piece. And there's the front part. Now this one doesn't seem to be showing up. I don't know what happened to it, I think, but let's bring it out. And let's put it, I think it's kind of an interesting detail to have. But for some reason, I resized something or another, so it doesn't really fit right. But let's kind of see if I can work it in somehow. Okay, so first of all, I think the resizing that I'm doing is kind of weird. Let's put this in the center and resize it from the center, and I think that will kind of help. Okay, yes, and maybe down a bit and out. Right. All right, so good deal. And then let's choose maybe this color for it. Fill object. Okay, so that's good for the most part. I think that works. Okay, and then let's keep moving down to the next object, which is this piece that's on the belt. I think that has a color, so we're good. Move on to the next one, which is that piece that has a color. Those are good, those are good, those are good. Good. Yes, yes. Okay, what are these ones? The buckles. So I'm going to give these buckles that same green color. Okay, sort these out. Fill object. Are they? They're not getting the green color. What is going on? Right. RGB. I think maybe they have a material assigned to them or something like that. So what I'm going to do here is just very quickly go to a flat color and mRGB white. Fill object. Okay, and then go back to RGB. Go back to, where are you? Basic material. I don't know where that material is that I just added. Fast shader. Let's try this one. Okay, and I don't think I want fast shaders. I want to load a different material, so I'm just going to go do that real quick. So material load, and it's going to take me a second to find it. Not too long. All right. While this is happening, I'll look at the questions here. Oh, here we go. Let me do this part. Okay. ZBrush materials. And all right, that's the material I had. Okay, we're back. Let's see what the question is. Cool. All right. All right, whistling orange cat. Yes. Love it when the orange cat whistles. All right, so I think now that this is that, let's see if I can get the green color on it this time. If I can go to part that has it. Pick that. Fill object. Okay, there it is. Now we're good with that piece. Keep moving down. Now these guys have the color that they need. The boots we did. I think I'm almost done. All right, that's done as well. And that's the back of the boot done. And I'm not going to use the eyes. I still have them here for some reason. So here's kind of what that whole story is. So if I show the eyes, it looks like this. And so we got lenses and we got eyes, and it's kind of what it's going to look like. Or I could omit the eyes and just have that kind of crevice in there, which I think looks more interesting, but we'll just leave it at that. And then I've got a backdrop, and that's all. All right, so this is all good. I think it's a good time to do a save. All right, So with that out of the way, the next thing I want to do here is, since I'm remembering it, I just want to do a little bit of sculpting on that neck area where I had those pieces. As soon as this is done, just pick that piece. So, all right, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this all the way down to its most earliest level of subdivision here. And I'm going to go ahead and delete the higher subdivision levels for now because they're not really adding anything to this. So delete higher. Okay, and also, do I have UVs on this guy? No. Okay, so I don't care. Right, good. And then the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to bevel PG. Geometry. It's under edge loop. And I don't know why this is, okay, polygroups, group loops. I can do group loops too, but poly should work. Oh, bevel, yeah, bevel profile. Where was the thing where, actually I could just do this manually. I thought there was a thing that just, oh, it does it with creasing. So yeah, I need to crease it first. All right, remembering some things here. So crease and then crease PG. There we go. Now I've got a crease there, and now what I wanted to do will work. So here I will go to, where was I? Under edge loop and bevel, and now that should add the bevel. Why isn't it not doing it? Okay, I think I'm in the wrong place for that bevel. I think it's somewhere else. I think it's under maybe edge loop, and it's not here. Was it under crease? It might be under crease. Yeah, it's under crease. Okay, here we go. This is what I want. Right, and we just want to give it a little bit of a bevel here, like that. So it looks like that. Okay, and then now I can add the subdivision levels and it'll be better. And then one other thing I want to do here is just minor deformation of, before I divide this, I want to divide it once without smooth and a couple times with smooth. I've got 4 subdivision levels, and I just want to, I guess I could just hit it with the polish brush. So now it's kind of smoother, and let's see what that looks like. It looks a little bit better. And go all the way down in subdivision levels here, and I kind of want to adjust the way this looks. Okay, and I have AccuCurve on. I just want to move this in a bit like that. So it kind of looks like it's going around these wires. Again, very minor thing, but it could add some visual interest if it is doing that. Right, and then just bump up the subdivision levels. I should be okay with it. All right, and now for the color, I think it's going to be like rubbery stuff. If I do black, it'll be just, let's try that. Let's see what that looks like. I tried it earlier, but it didn't look too good. Right, and then if I do this color, that looks a little bit better. I think that looks better. Okay. All right, so we are done coloring this guy, and we're done fixing that little bit of sculpture that we needed to do. I could do a little bit more work on the shoes, like this part right here I think has subdivision levels, or no? Nope. Okay, so I'm just going to, for a second, hide the paint and add a few subdivision levels to it. And I'm going to do that like this, so I do get a little bit of kind of that hard surfaciness. And then let's go to Damien Standard. It's not very good. I think I'm going to use orb cracks for this. Orb cracks with a lazy mouse that has a little bit more of a radius. That's good. Just do a line there. I was watching the Batman and I kind of noticed he had these kind of things at the back of the shoe and they looked cool. All right, I think that's good enough. All right. Okay, so I think we're good for most of it. And what I want to do here is I want to do kind of a render test. So I'm going to take it to this version where I have all the other pieces. What the heck happened here? Do I have a group off? I got a bunch of stuff. I've got this group off. All right, not a problem, easily fixed. And I'm just going to bring up the backdrop here. Let's turn perspective on and zoom in. And I'm just going to do kind of a quick kind of render. I'll pick a, so the material doesn't really matter for most of the things that I just colored. I'll go ahead and pick a Redshift material. Let's go ahead and pick, let's pick this one. Okay, let's turn Redshift on. Where are you, Redshift? There you are. And so let's just do a render with defaults. Let's see what we get. All right. So you can see the countdown of the render up here. First we'll get a kind of a the specular, I guess, or the ambient occlusion pass, and then we'll get the main pass. The first render usually takes the longest because it launches Redshift and does a whole bunch of stuff. So here we go, there's that. And then we should be doing the bucket render soon. And again, this is gonna not look great, but all I just want to do is just get an idea of what this will look like rendered. And this is 47 million polygons that Redshift is rendering, and it's doing pretty good. I can hear the fan going off on my machine. And I mean, I could stop it at this point. I basically have what I need, but I will let it do its thing. And one of the things I don't like right off the bat, and that's the reason why I did this, is there are some things that are kind of not, I don't like. So one of them is on the helmet, this part, the coloring of this part is kind of creating a shape that I don't like. So I'm going to zoom in on that and do render of it. So I'm just going to stop this render right here. And I'm going to zoom in on the helmet. And do a render that way. Another thing that's kind of I guess I'll do this right now too. So for the material, I don't know if I'm going to regret doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to pick this one. Nope, that's not. It's a Redshift iron. I guess it is. Okay. And then I'm going to pick this piece right here. Let me make sure I picked it. Nope. Okay, and I'm going to mRGB assign fill object so that I have that thing kind of emitting light as well. All right, so let me just go to, I'm just going to choose the, I don't know, just choose plastic material for kicks. And I want to see what that looks like with the helmet. All right, so this render will proceed a lot faster. And of course, this is also using the default Redshift HDR, which I probably should load a different one, and I might. But let's kind of see if I see that same issue that I saw earlier. Right, render in progress. There is the specular render or AO. I don't know which of the two that is. And there goes the bucket render. It's a bit slower. I don't know if there's because there's more detail. And also, this material has a little bit more spec to it, so everything looks a little bit shinier. But it'll get the idea across that I want. Yeah, my GPU is really kicking in. All right, so I already see that there's an issue, and again, this is just a Redshift thing. I can change the emissiveness of that emissive material to less. So what you're saying is a little bit specular looks better. Dragonfire, yeah. I agree. But I still see the issue with the helmet here, which is this kind of top part, and I think I want to make it the same color. And again, these are not the final colors, but all right, that's good enough. And I'm going to hide the background. Okay, so now I basically have the thing that I wanted to get, which is an idea of what this looks like. But what I want to do here is I want to use this here to be this color. Okay, I want to make sure I'm just on RGB and fill object. Yeah, I think that would look better. And possibly doing that with this would look better too. So I'm just going to try that as well. Right, and let's see what this looks like. I'm going to do one more render. I'm going to get a different HDR just for kicks because the default ZBrush one is okay, but there are much better ones. All right, close Z color. Where are you? How about this one? Looks good. Let's try this one. Okay, we don't want to see the background, and let's just see what that looks like. Now, introducing a new HDR, I don't think makes it go a lot any slower. And we're using the same materials, so I don't think this is going to take that much longer than what it took before. So we should be seeing that render start any minute now. There we go. It looks really blown out. But yeah, I think I need to tone down those emissive materials a bit, because I totally can't see the skull inside. Yeah, my GPU is complaining. It's like, no. Yeah, this is really blown out. I don't know why it's so bright. Let's choose a different one. How about this one right here? All right, let's see if this one's any better. Still a little blown out. All right, so I think the problem is with the light here, there's two lights going on. So not a problem. I'll go to light here and let's turn this one down. So that's not really affecting it. And then for the background, what are we doing? Gamma 2.2, okay, redshift exposure 2.2. Okay, that's all good. All right, let's see what that looks like. As much as I like Redshift being integrated into ZBrush, I think it's such a, version 1.0 type of a thing where, like, it would be nice to see that HDR on the material over here. I think that would be nice. And no, it's still blown out. Okay, so I think the Redshift exposure 22, that's too much. Let's go back to 1. Let's see what that does. Much better. Yeah, I think that's basically helping with the emissive stuff too. Looks a lot better. All right, I'm going to let this render because I think this is going to be a good image. Maybe I'll use it as the kind of the splash screen for next time. Okay. Yeah, I like the way the helmet looks now a lot more than I did before. Of course, this material is going to, the material is going to change. It's not going to be as specular of a material. But right now I'm just kind of looking to see. Yeah, I'm going to finish this render and I'm going to actually save it out. Okay, good. I think I kind of like the way the colors are, so we're good with that. All right, let's bring everything back here, 0.5, and let's turn Redshift off, and let's go back to our basic light gray material to where we were before. Turn this off. Okay, so now we are good and good to go. So this would be a good time to also do another quick save. And then I'll just go into ZTexturator and start texturing this thing. So again, we did this last time. We're going to have to do it again, but not a big deal. All right, and I'm not really going to spend too much time doing this because, again, I need to find a few things out from the folks that make the plugin, and I'll be meeting with them next week. All right, so let's go ahead and start out with this inside part of the helmet. I'm going to solo that out and go to my plugins. ZTexturator, launch it, advanced. Go to the library here, and again, I created my own custom one over here. But I think I'm going to create a new custom one. So I'm just going to go to metal here, and I'm just going to choose this kind of top one. Get, right, keep scale, keep G scale, continue. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to create a new material for this. This is a rounded object, and that's all we need to do, and ZTexturator will do the rest. And then we'll just let this do its thing. It takes a few minutes, but Sean Davis, you need to save your dollars. You need to render like that. What are you going to spend your dollars on? On Redshift or on the GPU? All right, here we go. So it's starting to apply the materials. It'll take a few minutes and then it'll be done. Okay, so it says here compiling, saving the thing to disk and all that stuff, but I don't really know exactly how to bring this back. I mean, I'm saving the project, but I don't know if it all comes back. Like, I don't know if I need to export out the maps or what I need to do. So those are the kind of things I need to figure out with the vendor. All right. I think we're almost there. Okay. So now it's done. This is kind of the end result, which is pretty promising. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to edit this because I'm not going to take the green color. I mean, if I was making something for Quake or something like that, it would be great, but I'm not. So here, I'm just going to go into shading, go into shader 2. Now, first of all, I don't know if I want this much of whatever is behind here. So I think that's over here somewhere where I can change this exponent. So 37 is what it is. I'm just going to change it to 37. And then, so this I think kind of, is it doing anything? Yeah, so this is kind of bringing in the background color a little bit more. Yeah, I don't really want it to be weathered. I think this is about right. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. The next thing I'm going to do here is the diffuse is good. Standard, what about if it's high or medium? I think medium is better. I think I'm liking this a little bit more. Specular. Let's leave that to standard. Okay, reflectivity. Okay, that's good too. What if I increase the specular a bit? I should have taken note of what it was. Okay, so 0.002. 0.2. I think 0.2 is good. Now this is very metallic. I don't want it to be metallic. Okay, so this kind of makes it better, but then the specular really kills it here. So I'm going to go to 0. There. Okay, so this is good, but I don't want it to be green, so I need to change the green color to, let's see, gray, and let's see if I can go darker. Something like this. Now, I think if I add some Fresnel here we go. Okay, so this is looking like very metallic, but I want it to be darker, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know if it's specular darker. I don't think that makes a difference. It's ambient color. Go the other way with the Fresnel now. Okay, what if if I increase the diffuse. Okay, so that's making it darker. Is it? Nope. All right, so that's good. Now the other thing is this kind of rusty color that's in here, this kind of dust rusty color. I don't really need that, so I think that's S4 here. I'm going to drop that down. Here we go. Get away with the for now. Okay, so now I basically have what I kind of was thinking, but it's a little too weathered, so I'm going to color this. I'm going to go to the standard brush. Standard brush, where are you? Just regular, good old standard. Not scribe, just standard. Okay, so I'm just going to use a standard brush, and I'm just going to turn RGB on. No Z add, no adding, and then I'm just going to choose this color. And what's really nice here is that as I'm painting with this color, and I don't need symmetry as well. Oops. Transform symmetry off. And as I'm painting, you can see that I'm actually painting the outside part. And it's kind of feathered here, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick an alpha, not this one. I'm going to import an alpha. Actually, I can just do it this way. I don't know. Oh, I can. Yeah, comma, alpha. And the other thing about this, ZTexturator is that it drops ZBrush into the standard UI. So I've lost my UI, and when I exit out, it'll be fine. But for now, I've lost it. All right, let's kind of see it come up. I think it's going to take a minute to get all my alphas. I should have just imported it. But I can't get out of this before it does the alphas. All right, here we go. And let's go to the skin, no, ornaments, patterns. Let's go to organic here. And just want to find a nice kind of noise alpha. I think this is too much. Something simpler. Let's go to the Pixelogic alphas. By the way, all these you can download from their website, and they're free of charge, and they're all really cool alphas. Need to pick something kind of really simple. This would work. As you can see, they got quite a few, and they're all good. I think I'm going to do this one right here. Okay, so click on it. It's my alpha now. Nope, it's a texture, it's not an alpha. All right, so if you get that, if that happens to you, it's very easy to change it into an alpha, and I will in a second. But let me grab a couple other ones so I don't have to come back if it doesn't work. This could work, this could work. So when I do this, every time I double click, it's adding an alpha, I think. Right, as you can see, there's so many. I want something that has it. Oh, here we go. These are the good ones. I want this one. I think this one will be fine. All right. Okay, I think we're good. Make sure it added all of them. It sure did. Okay, so now this is not an alpha. It's a texture, but you can just go down to the texture menu here and say make alpha. So there it is as an alpha. Let's do that with some of the other ones. Make alpha as well. Make alpha. Right, that's perfect. And then this last one, I think we did this last one, didn't we? Yeah, we did. All right, and how about this one? We didn't make this one, so let's do that one too. Make alpha. And last but not least, you make alpha. All right, so I got 4 alphas, and I think of all of them, I really like this one. I'm also going to change my paint to spray, and just going to drop the color down to that. And now let's see what that's looking like. All right, so you can see the thing that I'm getting that I don't want is a variation in the color. And I thought I changed that to 0, and I don't know why it's still doing it. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so the alpha has colors in it. That's what's going on. Okay. When I make it, oh, it's yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to turn the texture off. Now I'm good. Okay, so now I can go back to the spray. Let's make sure color is at 0. Yeah, this is what I want right here. All right, so I'm just basically kind of spray painting a lot of this kind of noise off, because I mean, again, it's weathered, but it's not really that weathered. And it's better if I do this while the rest of the stuff is there. And I want it to be this kind of shiny black. And what's nice about this is I can also go and pick where the weathering is. And I can, I mean, this is kind of really dark here, so I don't know if you guys are seeing the, you know, I can just pick this even lighter color down here. And I mean, it's kind of subtle, but it's there. Okay, so that's going to be the helmet part. And now what I want to do is I want to save this material the way it is, right? So I'm just going to go back to the library. And this is the kind of stuff that I lost. I lost all my custom ones. So I'm just going to click on this one, add, and then add a name for it. It's going to be all caps black metal. And what it'll do for me is it'll create a swatch here in a minute. And there it is. All right, done. And there is my black metal. All right, so now I'm just going to go and pick another piece in here that I want it to be the same. Right, and by the way, it's for the material. If you want to see your material, just go pick, like, you know, one of these matte cap gray or something, so you can see the rest of your stuff. And then I'm just going to pick this one over here, this shoulder piece, and do the same thing to it. Let me see, make sure I picked it. Yep. So pick that, get, continue, and I want to create a new material. Oh, I should have done curved. I'll do it again. It won't take long. Right, so now I'm just basically, you know, this new material that I made is what's going to be applied. And you can see this new material looks different than kind of the default, which here I just basically changed the color to black. And we'll just let it do its thing. Okay, both. You're using ZBrush 2022. I'm seeing some of this for the first time. Is there some new material tools? No, this material stuff that I'm doing is not ZBrush. It's not made by Maxon. It's made by a third party, and it's called ZTexturator. And I'll type it in the. And you can just Google it. You can get it from. You can get it either from ArtStation or you can get it from Gumroad. It's not inexpensive, but it's not expensive either, and I think it's well worth the however much the charge is on it. All right, so here we go, doing the thing, and bam, done. Right? So how cool is that? And I don't know how much work I need to do here. Let me solo it out. Let me see if there's some areas that just really stand out. I don't know why, like these scoops, it kind of does this to it. But not a problem. I can just pick this color here and darker color. I think, am I on the, does it matter actually? I don't know. Oh, let's see. Shading. Let's go to shader 2. Let's pick this one. Why am I, oh, I am painting with a dark color. I just have a lot of speck on it. All right, so I'm just kind of going to take this area and make it the same as the other area. Right? I mean, this kind of looks really very metallic to me, and I think the flow here is a little bit too much. Right? This flow like 0.15. Oh. What? Standard brush, flow. No, it keeps closing it. Okay, let's just try that. Okay, that's much better. Let's pick a bigger brush size. Again, there is some weathering, but not too much. Okay, and then let me do something here. I don't want to do that. Switch color. All right, so you can see here that I actually am this is looking really good, and with a good renderer, like, you know, if I load these maps into Keyshot, which is going to be my next kind of thing I'm going to try, these should be come out really nice. Okay, so that's done. Let's go pick another piece. Again, when I get to this stage, it's kind of, you know, it's hard to pick anything, but I can just go ahead and pick up matte cap gray. Let's do the top of the hat here. Okay, same story. Let's go to library, pick this guy, get, continue. I'm going to pick edged for this just because I haven't tried edged with it. It'll be interesting to see what I get. Yeah, and I think next time, next stream, I'll know a lot more about this texturing tool. And so, you know, and I'll probably have a lot more of it done. And then once we're done with that, then all I need to do is pose the model and render it, and we're done with this project. So it's been 40 hours so far on this project, plus a little bit of time here and there when I did stuff on my own. But, you know, we could even double it to 80 hours and still not that much time on a character this detailed. Right, so right now it's applying the contour maps and all that stuff, so I'll just let it do its thing. Another thing I'm going to ask the folks is, like, if there's a kind of a faster workflow to this. if there's a way to do a pre-process on the entire model. Oh, they want to auto-save yet. Okay, so this is good, but it's way too weathered. Oh, is it inside out? That's weird. That is very strange. I don't know how that happened, but let's fix that. With display properties and flip. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, I know what's going on here. This thing, for some reason, the UVs of it are messed up, is what's going on. Not a problem, easily fixed. I think we had that problem last time too, but since I might not have saved it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm just going to go to MRGB here and just fill it with flat color and white. Fill object. And then pick Matcap Gray. All right, let's take a look at this thing and let's bring it down. Okay, I remember that I don't have my hotkeys. Bring it down to this level. Now the good news is that it's got polygroups, so I am going to. Well, actually, I can probably do it in here. Z plugin, UV master. Unwrap. And let me put a texture map on it just to make sure it's okay. It is. And texture off. Right, let's bump it back up. And let's do the whole thing over again. Turn this off, turn this off. Oh man, yeah, the thing happened where it flipped. This is a ZBrush bug of sorts, but there is a group of items here, and for some reason something happens where they all get flipped. So I have an easy fix because I have a group here that just has all those pieces visible. I think it's V8. No, 7. It's one of these guys. It'd be great if there's a way to name these. Oh no. Did I lose it? This might be it. All right, well, I think what I'm going to do instead of, let's see, do I have, what was my last quick save? Hmm. 3, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I don't think I have one with the material applied. Well, I mean, that's kind of okay because I already have the material, so I'm just going to go ahead and load my latest quick save, see if that works out. I'll have to contact the Maxon people about this bug too. Well, this would be a good time to ask questions if you guys have them. I think this is the one that basically all the things are overturned. Okay, so document double. Oh, let's just do this over. No, document double AF. Yeah, this is, I think, before the helmet got colored. So good. All right. All right, so we'll have to do this again. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but before I do that, I'm going to fix this UV on this guy. So let's take a look at what the UVs look like. UV map, morph UV. Yeah, look at that. Not good. Okay, not a problem. Drop it down in subdivision level, Z plugin, UV master. All right. Get it back to where it was. And go back to ZTexturator and just texture it. Black metal, get, continue. Edged was a bit too much. Let's do curved. Let's see what that does. So, I mean, as much as it's taking this time, doing this manually would take so much longer. But here we go. There, bam, bam. Wow, whatever this is, it really kicked my CPU fan on. All right, there it is. Okay. All right, yeah, that's good. I just kind of want to do a little bit of paint on here, especially over around this area. Pick this color. I'm doing this with the mouse. Back to the pen tablet. Yeah, I don't know why it puts these weird rings around there, but I can get rid of those pretty fast. See, that do it in the back. Sure did. There, so I'm just kind of hinting at it, but it's a little bit heavy-handed, and again, like a lot of this stuff is really a bit too much, so just there we go, better. And if I want to bring out some of the highlights, I'll just go pick the lighter color. Maybe that. There's a good example of it over here. All right. Okay, so that's good. And now I'm just going to do this helmet part all over again. Again, not a problem. Easy enough. Get. Continue. Let's do a new one, rounded, and then just let it do its thing. All right, so let's see, any new shows or whatever. Let's see, what am I watching? The Boys is really good. If you guys, I mean, it's a little NSFW, but as far as shows is concerned, it's really funny. I've been watching that. I've been watching The Acolyte, which is like which is basically, Star Wars, but I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Let's see what else. Not much. Not too many good movies lately. I saw something Mars something animation. That was good. And I forgot the name of it, but it's pretty good. It's a French movie, French animation. That was not bad. All right, we're almost there. Okay, good. Back to where we were. Again, it's pretty consistent. Let's pick the darker color here. And again, it's always good to do this with the other part showing, so you don't have to paint areas that are not visible. All right, and if I want to add a little bit more kind of this edge to it, let's see if I can pick some of it from here. Just that lighter color. Okay, maybe there's a better one. Now the problem is I kind of, with the material, I didn't really make it too vary too much. So it's between a darker and a lighter version of the color. But I'm just going to grab this edge here. And I'm just going to go around this part where the other piece fits and add a little bit of kind of extra weathering. And this is all really dark, by the way, but I'm kind of going for this kind of metallic look, which is very similar to the initial concept, or the should not have symmetry on. Okay. And then now let's pick this piece right here, solo it out, same story, get, continue. Let's make a new material, and this one's kind of edged. Let's try that. All right, I've got Taylor Mead saying he's a student at Full Sail in computer animation program. I'm currently researching some website related to my future industry. I'm a 2D artist, but I'm excited to start working in 3D programs. Is there any sort of advice you'd give, anything you wish you would have known when you first started out? Well, yeah, I would say, specialize in what you want to do as early as possible. And I know that's kind of a tall order to say, but when I started out, I wanted to be an animator, right? And the more I found out about animation, the more I didn't want to be an animator, because it just, it's really cool and I know how to animate and it's fun, but I don't know if I want to spend all of my time working with the stuff that you use to animate with. So I didn't really, but I kind of got into the industry wanting to be an animator, right? And then I changed my mind. After doing some work, I noticed that I enjoyed doing concept design more. So I kind of veered in that direction. So I think that what you should do is, determine what you really enjoy doing. And I think part of school is that it kind of gives you, classes that you take, and you get to try out all these different things and see what you really like or have an aptitude towards. And figure it out that way. But try and do it as soon as you can, because the sooner you do it, the sooner you have an idea of what you want to do after you graduate. And you'll start to focus more on that. You'll get to talk to your teachers more about it, because your time in school will go by really fast. And a lot of my students, a lot of the kids that I teach, some of them, the majority of them, I should say, are not doing this stuff. They're doing something else. So they do study CG, but then they either become supervisors or, they do other things. So determine whether you enjoy. Because basically whatever it is that you choose, you're going to be spending a lot of time doing it, right? So this is grueling work. There are crunch times where all you're doing is just doing the work. Like, right now I'm painting, and I enjoy doing this. So I know that if I get a job where this is all I'm doing, or this is part of what I'm doing, I'm okay with it. But the last thing you want to do is pick something because you think it's going to make you more money, or because it's going to, because it's the hot new thing or whatever. And you focus on that, and you kind of spend your time and energy learning that, and then you figure out, oh no, that's not what I really want to do. So then you're basically going to have to go back to school, or you're going to have to spend your own time making a portfolio with that and trying to get work doing that thing. So I would definitely recommend that you specialize in what you want to do and figure out what that is as soon as possible. And that's not that hard to do, by the way, because, all right, let's do this one. Because, as you're taking a course, you'll know whether you're enjoying it or not. So if you're taking SEMTK 89 or I can't pronounce your name, but yes, this is a plugin that does a lot of stuff like Substance Painter, called ZTexturator. I put the name in the chat. You can go check it out, and you can go get it. It's pretty. It's reasonably priced. It's cheaper than Substance Painter, but it is more expensive than plugins usually are. I think it's well worth the money, honestly, for what I do. And as soon as I figure out my workflow, I'll probably be using this quite a bit. It saves me so much time. Because before I have to UV everything, export everything, and load everything into Substance Painter. That process to me takes a long time. And eventually I'd like to not leave ZBrush if there's any way to do that. But I think for now, this is kind of solving a big problem for me. And I'll know more if it is next time. But anyway, the person who has asked me, Taylor Mead, hopefully this kind of, what I said gives you an idea about specializing. I think that's the first thing you should do. And also make sure that you keep in touch with your teachers. Okay, we've got another one of these problem children UV things here. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that real quick. Let's see here. Subdivision level down. Let's turn off the texture on it, and let's go to polyframe. Okay, good news is that this is an easy thing to fix. All I need to do is go to ZPlugin and do UV master, unwrap, and it's done. And then we're going to bump up the subdivisions again. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you're going to be doing a lot of stuff over and over and over and over again. So make sure that whatever it is that you decide to do, um, that it is something that you're comfortable working with, working on all the time. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to redo this again. It was pretty fast. I think that my fan kicks in when there's a problem with the UVs. And I'll just make a new one. Let's see, curved. So yeah. There's a lot of students coming out doing this stuff nowadays, and also work is really kind of taken a hit because a lot of studios laid off a lot of people. So there's a lot of tenured people that are kind of experienced looking for work, and also there's students coming out of schools wanting to do this as well. A lot of times, you know, some of my students, they got into it because they wanted to get a job doing this, which is not the right reason. I think you really need to enjoy it. If you just want to get a job doing it, you'll discover soon enough that it's, you know, it's a lot of hard work. And if you don't enjoy it, even if it's paying you, you'll burn out or they'll let you go. So only do it if you really enjoy it. If you can deal with the crashes and the issues and all the stuff that happens that's super frustrating. And believe me, there's a lot of that. All right, come on. All right, here we go. Okay. Again, it over textured it, but an easy fix. Just you definitely don't want things to be over textured. There's so much of that right now. Like even with AAA studios, sometimes I look at Call of Duty characters and I'm like, oh my gosh. Nothing ever needs to be that textured, over textured. Like go out and look at nature. Nothing is that over textured. Maybe there's a car somewhere that's really old or whatever, but most things are not over textured. Most things have some imperfections, but not way too much. And unfortunately, it's so easy to do it in Substance Painter that people just, you know, go overboard. I'm just going to turn transparency off here, or symmetry off, just to get a little bit of asymmetry. Again, only so much of this is going to show. All right, so here we go. We kind of have the helmet pretty much done. I don't know why it's so dark, but you know, black is kind of one of those things where when it's rendered, it's going to look okay, but like this, it's fine. So let me go to these shoulder pads. Do that, and then we'll call it a night. Again, same thing, get, continue. And new, and curved. And this kind of plugin is using the quad shader material in ZBrush, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but you should familiarize yourself with the materials in ZBrush. And Fatal Vampire, you're saying this is looking pretty cool. Yeah, I would agree with you. Thank you. So I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, the quad shader material is what it's using, and so that's why it looks kind of pretty realistic. And then, but when I drop out of ZTexturator, it basically just has it there as a quad shader material, and we'll see the materials. I'll show them to you in a minute here. This is almost done. I think what's interesting is it actually is looking at all the other subtools too. All right, here we go. Oh no, don't save it. Not yet. I might regret not doing it, but that's fine. Okay, this does have symmetry right now, which is fine. And I'm going to pick this color. Again, I kind of don't like these, you know, lines that it draws that are just, you know, not, I mean, nothing wears with that kind of clarity. All right, so here we go. Just dropping a little bit of paint on here. It's going over the details, and I also have the opacity. I mean, I could drop down this RGB intensity if I wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it like this. And just kind of take out all that over weathering that's in there. And you can see kind of the difference between the materials, how, you know, it kind of light shines through. And again, that has to be with maps. Okay, so that's good enough for that. So I've got the shoulder done or whatever. Here, let me just jump back to Madcap Gray. So I can have the shoulder piece done. We're kind of exactly about where we were last time. I think I did maybe one or two more pieces. But it's time. So basically what has to happen next, I think, is I have to go to the exporter, and then there's texture export, render export, and model export. So the model, I don't need to really export the model because it's fine. I don't need to decimate it or do any of this stuff for it. But the render export will export this render as an image. I don't really need to deal with that either. But here's where the magic is. So texture export here, you can go in and you can choose your resolution. So you can choose, let's say, 4K texture. And then here are all the different maps you can export, right? So I probably will export a color map, maybe an ID map, but I don't really need an ID map because each one of these pieces has its own UVs. I mean, at some point I can maybe go in and combine them, but I don't really care at this point. You know, the normal map, the bump map, the madcap, I don't know if I need that, displacements, or anything like that. So probably in this case, I'd probably just do the color. So that's the diffuse. And then I will do a bump map maybe, and maybe I will do a ambient occlusion that I can be, you know, add in key shot. I don't know if I need to do an edge or a peak or a curve or cavity. Maybe cavity, why not? I'll do a displacement also just for kicks. So I'll just choose these maps, and then I'll just say export. And then this will export all these maps for the shoulder piece, and then I will connect them up in KeyShot. And we'll probably see me doing this later on in the shows or in the streams. Okay, so I probably will do a few more streams. I know I was saying maybe we'll just do 2, but I mean, I think I might do maybe 2 more, maybe 3 more from this one on. All right, so all right, let's see. I have if I wanted to do character concept and design work, it'd be better to pivot away from animation, or would it still be valuable? So if you want to do character concept work, I should let you know first of all that you know. Right, so let's take any game, right? So, or any movie or whatever. There are fewer key characters than there are NPCs and arbitrary characters, right? So the good artists that are in companies that have jobs right now are doing the character concept work. So they're doing a lot of the work on the main characters, and they take their sweet time. And for example, like if you take, I don't know, I'll give you an example of something that I am intimately aware of. An older game, which is, I'll let this autosave go, which is, what's the game that Naughty Dog makes? Their most popular game, not The Last of Us, but the other game that they did. God, if anybody knows what it is, let me know. Yeah, I can't, for some reason I can't think of the game. It's a very popular PlayStation game that they made a movie of too with what's his name playing it. Um, but anyway, Uncharted. That's right. Thank you. So if you look at Uncharted, for example, I know for a fact that the main character, somebody worked on the main character and another character for 3 months on that, and he was like their top character artist. And I know that there was another character artist who actually taught a class and was really good, but he got to work on secondary characters and tertiary characters. So this guy had to churn out a character a week or a character every 2 weeks, while the other person was taking 3 months to work on the main character. So if you're going to be a character artist, for you to get to that stage where you're working on the main character, and I mean, I can say it's not that one artist is better than the other one, but it's just that the main character is the one that is shown in all the promos, and it's the one that everybody's going to look at for the most time in the game. So that's why that character will take a long time to do, and will go through multiple approval cycles and whatnot. So it's going to be a long time for you to get to that stage. So you probably, as a character artist, you're going to be doing a lot of NPC type characters. So I would use a lot of those in your portfolio, and then I'd maybe have one hero piece to show that you have the potential to be the other one. But I wouldn't pivot away from animation, because your characters are going to go and get animated. So while you're at school, you might as well take whatever they have for you. I mean, the people that are putting your curriculum together probably are talking to people from the industry, and they're figuring out like there's a certain number of things you need to know. So definitely go through that cycle. But as you get towards the later years, like your third or fourth year, try to kind of focus in on exactly what you want to do. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And Wolvenator and Fatal Vampire, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, Uncharted. I don't know why I forget the name. But yeah, that's the game. And this plugin is like Quixel, but way easier to use and better results. Yeah, Sean, it is. I like it a lot. I think I think it has a lot of promise, and it's the first version. Hopefully he'll continue to make it better. I'll give him some feedback when I talk to him or talk to them. I don't know how many people there are. But yeah, so we'll kind of end things here. I'll wait a few more seconds to see if you have any other questions. Yeah, all right. Yeah, happy to help. And so with that, I will wish you all a good day or night or whatever time of day it is where you are, and happy ZBrushing.